Hello there, I'm Matthew Msengati, the designer and developer. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Coded Design, where I teach coding and user interface design. This is my new course called Graphic Design Story course. This is a very unique and a different course from the course that you are used to, simply because it is a story course. What is a story course? Contrary to the traditional way of teaching, which is a classroom style. What is a classroom style approach to teaching? This is a setup where we have an instructor and the student, and the communication is one-way directional. It comes from the instructor to the students. The students can do nothing besides listening to the instructor. Maybe at the end of the day, they will be asked questions where they have to answer based on what they have learned. There's nothing wrong with that approach, but me, I'm a creative. I have worked as a graphic designer for the most part of my life. Also, I like solving problems and coming up with new ideas. So this is my new concept, my new approach to teaching. Because I'm so passionate with teaching, I don't run out of ways to engage with people and find different learning styles. I do understand that students are not the same. Some people, they don't fit in very well with a classroom or formal education style. So this new technique, the new storytelling approach, I will be telling you a story, telling you my own journey, unpacking my experience, how I have started from a self-taught graphic designer learning from YouTube to getting a job. I have started as a graphic designer and I got a job as a production manager. Not only that, I also got a job as a brand strategist. I have got some products that I have developed for that are on shelves in South Africa in big retail stores. Stores like Game, Macro, Pick n Pay, and Spar. I have been a brand strategist in the FMCG industry, fast moving consumer good. So without further ado, let me get into details and tell you what the new approach of a story course is. Why story course? Why I don't take the traditional route of a classroom style approach? Point number one, story course, it's more of a reverse engineering. That's what I like about it. As a student, you are interested in the overall output of your learning, the end game. What is it that you are going to become? Are you going to be able to solve creative problems that the industry is going to throw at you? Those are the things that you are concerned about when learning graphic design or anything as a student in general. Am I going to get employed? Am I going to cope in the work environment? What does the work environment looks like? So when I'm saying this new approach of teaching, it's more of a reverse engineering. I'm saying it will be presenting those things first and then reverse or drills down into the actual classroom style. Instead of opening a book and also showing you Corel Draw, Illustrator or Photoshop and teaching you code and teaching you color theories and teaching you pen tool and teaching you how to combine shapes, and then after tell you about the work environment, I am going to start practically with the work environment. I will show you what is it that you can do. I will show you my experience, how I did vehicle branding, how I did labels and stickers for product, how I've printed books, and also how I have been finishing business cards. And then from then, I'm gonna reverse engineer and give you all the details, all the minor details as to what do you need to get there. Do you see the difference? I'm not gonna start with the theory. I'm going to start with the end product first. If we are talking about vehicle wrapping or car branding, I'm going to show you a video of mine doing it, actually wrapping the car, because my experience extends that far. I'm not, but I have been an applicator. I have been wrapping and branding cars. Once I give you all the technique and how people are branding cars, and then from then I'm going to reverse engineer the process and tell you, as a graphic designer, what are the skills that you need in order for you to get there. So that is point number one. This approach is reverse engineering. It starts with the interesting things first. Remember, if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe so that you cannot miss the next video. Why story course? Point number two. Story course is substance. Story course is something tangible. Story course is experiential. Instead of theorizing, it shows you the experience practically when I'm doing things. So this means that you also feel like you have been part of the journey of my all summed up total experience of 10 years in graphic design, taking different roles: graphic design, production manager, web developer, web designer, UI, and so forth. So it's substance and it's experiential. Point number three, you are learning without learning. What do I mean by that? Isn't it interesting for you to learn and feel like you are not learning? Whenever I'm telling you a story, you do learn something from the story, but you don't feel like there is a lecture in front of you telling you the rules of life. What is it that you must do and what is it that you must not do? In a story, you always learn subconsciously, and your mind is actively engaged in the story. If I'm saying to you once upon a time, your mind subconsciously wakes up and wakes up its own creative juices. It creates the situations, it creates the circumstances as I'm telling you the story. You engage emotionally, you agree with things, you disagree with things. At the end of the day, you might agree with the overall moral message of the story, and also you might disagree. You don't have to accept the overall conclusion of the story. That's how you learn without learning in a story. You are actively involved, you feel you are engaged. This is my intention with this approach of a story course rather than a traditional learning style. I want you to learn without learning. Whatever that I'll be presenting to you, it will be my experience with videos of what I've been doing. Your mind will be actively engaged. You're going to take some of the things and you are not going to take some of the things. You will start to see why things work this way and why maybe things are not gonna work for you that way. And also your mind obviously will come up with solution as to how can you tweak that to adapt it to your own geographic location. Maybe you are based in Nigeria, United States, or in China. Point number four, this approach is suggestive than commanding. A classroom lecture style is commanding. The lecture is telling you exactly what you must do and what needs to be done. Like Newton's law, object will forever free fall. This is what you must accept. The best you can do is to memorize it and then get tested by the month end, given a multiple choice question. If you got wrong, then obviously you marked wrong. You get 5 out of 50, you are an average student. You get less than that means you failed. This course or this approach is suggestive. Here I will be telling you my own experience with graphic design, having worked for printing franchises, in finishing departments, doing business card, binding books, and also doing website and web development and user interfaces. I'm going to give you all that experience. So it's more like I'm suggesting how you should take things or what I've done in order for me to become a better graphic designer. It's more of a suggestion rather than commanding, telling you what you need to do. Point number 5, this approach brings perspective. it will give you a perspective. What is a perspective? Even though I'm originally from South Africa, but based on how I'm going to teach you, I'm going to show you what I've been doing practically with the videos, and you will have an idea of maybe how we do things in South Africa. Maybe you are based in Nigeria, United States, or in Japan. You will get a perspective, meaning you will take what I'm telling you and see how it fits to your own environment, and also how it fits to your own location. Why? Because it won't be just a theory, but it will be packed with practical and also how I see the world. So that will give you a perspective as to, okay, this is how he was approaching it and this is what he has done. But where I am, maybe in Australia, this is how printing companies are, and also this is the psychology of the customers or the graphic design client. This means that I can twist his South African based knowledge to my advantage and be competitive, and this is what I can add to it so that I can win in my own home ground. You will do that because you've got a perspective. Lastly, it's going to be practical. You are going to feel like you are hands-on because I am going to show you practical videos that are going to show you the environment where I have been, because I was so passionate about printing that I always, when I've got time, I filmed myself when I'm doing things. For me, Matthew Msingatihlazo, if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe, because this course will take you from a normal graphic designer or a general graphic designer, but to be more of an experiential and, believe me, an exceptional one by the end of this course. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. See you on the next video.